Good evening. Good evening.
Oh,
I should
good
probably
evening.
mute my stream. It's got Dom and stereo there. No, I've turned it off now. So
You ready for
much.
this?
I need so much of your voice I can handle.
Oh, that's charming.
Yeah.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Dom and Tom Sit Talking Hobby, episode 79. So, for those who are new to this stream, basically we just sit here, do a bit of hobby, and talk all sorts. Sometimes about hobby, sometimes about something else. Who knows? And hopefully you guys are doing the same. So let's start off. Tom, are you doing any hobby tonight?
I'm attempting to. I'm, as I said to you just before we start, I'm a little bit tired. You might be able to tell with my eyes; they're a little bit red. But I am attempting to finish off some Sister Battle stuff. So I have a Hospitaller, Diogenes, and then DOS Sister Superiors from various things that came out.
Ooh.
I think that one of them was, I can't remember. I think one's Amelia and the other one's, I can't remember the name. They've both got a name, but yeah. So that is what I am going to attempt to work on tonight. And what about yourself? You said you were struggling for some.
Yeah, because all my concentration has been on the Titan, which I'm working on. I don't know if should we have a quick little glimpse at the Titan?
Yeah.
Let's show that off quickly. All right, hang on.
Little preview for the people who actually watch the stream.
Yep. Okay, hang on.
And...
Here we go. It's not glued. There you go. It's taking shape. It's getting there.
On his breadboard.
So, on my breadboard there. So, yeah. Titan is taking shape, people. It's getting there. There's another episode in the making at the moment. But there you go. Good stuff. What's everyone in the chat working on tonight?
And while you're doing that, I'll just say good evening to Isaac, as a fail, Orkster, Felpire, Captain Jack, Dave, Peter. Hello.
Hello.
Good evening to all of you there. And I expect a reply from every single one. Oh, I'm Vicky, and I expect a reply from every single one of them what you're doing tonight. Go.
It's so
Any
much.
second now.
There is so much chaos, Vicky.
There's only so much chaos.
Catacomb command barge at the moment. Oh, nice. Oh my goodness, well done. Oh, still trying to build my knight. Very cool as well. Which knight did you get in the end? Jack, Imperial Fists. First time I've had a chance. Oh, nice. Okay. Miners, trying to get the shot.
Mr. Blue has
Ogre Squad, nice, and Grot Tanks. Oh, cool.
Lots of good stuff going on then. That's how I interpret it.
Necrons land for Blood Bowl. Nice. Well, at this weekend as well, I'm going to a tournament in Brighton.
Yes.
So I'm going to take Necrons to said tournament. I've played a couple of games, one of which you can see on the channel against Tom's Templars, and another one I didn't record, which is a bit more of a competitive game against Mr. Dave Holland and his Space Wolves. And the list has changed ever so slightly since I played you, Tom.
Yes. No, you said you wanted to make changes, and to be fair, it was quite an effective one.
Yeah, it was a good list. Although when I played Dave, I found a unit there that I played him against, the normal Necron Lord, did nothing. Literally nothing. And it was very similar when I played you. So I've kind of dropped him out, and I put in another Technomancer in. So there's
Destroyers alive?
Do you need more warriors, Tom? Did I keep the Destroyers alive? Did I keep them alive? No, they eventually died. They did. So in the first, I'll talk through my game with Dave. So in the first round of the game, my Destroyers destroyed one of his Redemptor Dreadnoughts with the first volley of shots, which was quite nice. I think that kind of took Dave on the back foot a little bit. The Dreadnought then decided to explode, and Dave had pretty much castled up his force behind a building, and there was a fair few mortal wounds being handed out left, right, and centre. And we had it was sweep and clear the mission. That's kind of diagonal deployment. And on both flanks, I had a squad of Immortals and an Annihilation barge. And basically, they both shot out towards their relevant objectives. The ones that kind of went up the battlefield towards kind of where you would see where Dave was standing. I put some scarabs in there as well. I also put the 2 Necron flyers in because he had a squad of infiltrators, the guys that just appear out of nowhere and just sit on an objective. And they got Tesla to death. So the Necrons quickly claimed that objective, which was very handy. The other one was a bit harder. We had a really terrible advance roll for the Immortals, a 1-inch advance roll, so they didn't quite make it. They put some the Annihilation Barge put some shots into his Inrisian Dreadnought, and didn't really do much to it. But similar to you as well, his Dreadnought got in combat, and somehow my Annihilation Barge just sat there, and he was like, "Ooh, keep hitting me, I'm fine." And yeah, it was a very fun game. Oh, Isaac, sorry to see you go already. I'm sure it's not my talk about Necron stuff. But yeah, it was a really, really good game. They performed just how I wanted them to perform. For those who care about Necrons, I'm running Mefrit at the moment rather than my previous list, which was Novok. And it's a very Tesla-based army. I've got 40.
You didn't have any Tesla. What are you
40 Immortals? Yeah, talking about Tesla.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean, obviously, if you haven't watched the game me and Dom had, go watch that. It was a good, fun game as well.
It was very much enjoyable.
Well, it was up last Sunday, but we played on our Tuesday night, which was actually, it was quite nice to have that as an option for filming. I think you'll agree, and hopefully we'll do the same next week.
Yes, definitely. Definitely, it was very, very fun, Thomas.
I mean, the other thing that I also did before I get too embedded into this is I picked this little thing up. Not that. No. Oh, where is it? I've lost my book. It's over here.
The boys are back in town.
I forgot I hadn't bought the codex yet, and I was thinking there going, because as Dom will have seen over last weekend, I actually got a lot of my armies out to have a little assessment of them so I could work out where they were and what I want to do with them. And Orcs were surprisingly well complete, actually, as in like painted wise. I think I only had about 10 or 15, well, no, 20 models to do for them, and half of that would be for the deaf guns, but they're the forget the damn unit. Looters, that's the one. That's the boys. And then also, to my shock, after reading the codex, I realised they made the Walknaut Wall of War.
Yeah. How do you feel about that?
Mixed. It's a bit annoying if you want to take it in like a normal 2,000 point game because it's quite a lot.
Have you just got one of those walkers? Because I say you got the Stomper as well, so you could have had both. Like if you had 2 Walknauts and a Stomper as a super heavy detachment.
Lost your audio, Dom. There.
Hello.
That's better. You're back again. Sorry, say again.
I said if you had another Morkanaut or Gorkanaut, you could have had those with your Stomper as a super heavy detachment.
I could have done, yes. And I may potentially get another one. I mean, you've got to have a Gorkanaut and a Morkanaut, in my opinion.
You don't want to show bias to one god over the other.
Yeah, because they get upset, especially the Orcs. They don't like that kind of stuff. So one second. So Azrael got the Canis Rex, which is the standard knight kit now, actually. Building as an errant, but also attempting to magnetize will be the first time trying it. Fair enough, magnetizing can be extremely beneficial, but also extremely frustrating. And Jack obviously answering my slight my slight inability to name orc units at the moment, which was yes, looters, yes. But yeah, I was actually quite looking forward to giving them a quick game. So I might have a game with Vicky, I think, for our next game. Might do Khorne versus Orcs for the next game.
Very nice. That'll be good.
I think we're going to do a 750 point game next to sort of ramp it up a little bit gradually, because it also helped me learn my Orc army a bit more because I haven't played them for quite a while.
Hello, Mr. Lee. Yeah, that'd be good.
And also an army that you guys probably haven't seen on the channel for quite some time.
The Orky Boys.
Yes. But yeah, other than that, though, just trying to keep on top of our new filming schedule.
Yeah, very good. So how many points of orcs do you think you have?
I think I'm about 3,000 points ish, roughly. Might be a
That's
bit
pretty
more.
cool.
It's hard to tell because from a viable list point of view, yeah, I think 3 would be easily done. But as you could add loads of upgrades on and add another 500 points just by doing that if you're clever about it. That wasn't including the stomper, but I can't remember what the stomper points is actually. Let's have a quick look.
Yeah, maybe the Todak dynasty, because we've got just over 3,000 points now, I think.
And
the orcs should have a game.
is 675 points now.
It's a lot of points.
It is a lot of points. I'm pretty sure. Just going to double check. No, it does have 40 wounds now. So that's a little bit more stompy, which is good.
That's good. I've actually got some. I just realised I've got some Sisters of Battle servo
Cherubs?
cherubs, servo cherubs. I could be getting on with.
Ah, there you go. Get cracking then, mate.
Crack-a-lacka.
And obviously, I think the main focus in the 40k world at the moment is I think Tau is obviously getting a lot of stuff at the moment, aren't they?
They are indeed. They are indeed. Well deserved, I think. Tau.
They've been out of the limelight for quite a while. I do feel they're going to be back in the limelight quite strongly, especially in the shooting phase. But as people point out, quite rightly so, is that they don't really have any other phases.
To be fair, the battlefields now are a lot smaller than 9th edition, so it's probably a good idea that they increase their shooting a little bit.
Yes, and also there tends to be a lot more terrain as well. So, and on the grounds that they can't do combat, and they definitely, and their movement is fairly restricted to, getting into position for shooting. I think it's fair. I'm not that worried about it. I think it'll be interesting. I mean, some of the guns they've put out are quite like eye-poppingly different.
It's fine. We'll all be okay. Nothing to worry about.
Yeah. Dom says this now until something one-shots one of his Doomsides out of the sky. Something.
Doom Scythes are pretty fragile at the best of times, so it's not surprising.
Unless you shoot
I've been shot down by Tyranids before. It shows you how rubbish Doom Scythes are. But
is Gavin not in chat?
Yeah, no, I'm expecting a comment. I'll get him before he does. Well, I'm not running Doom Scythes at the moment. It doesn't work well for Doom Scythes. It depends. If I was to go up against an armoured army, I might consider them. But generally, if I'm making a standard fight all army, I'd probably go Night Scythes if I'm going to take flyers.
I take it the weaponry is the difference, is it?
Yeah. So a Doom Scythe has got the underslung Death Ray, which is pretty tasty anti-armour. The Night Scythe is just a transport one. But they've both got Tesla guns, so
and Tesla for all the fun.
And the Doom Scythes are a bit more expensive, so let's go. I mean, back in the day, Doom Scythes were the go-to straight away for the flyers for the Necrons, especially when you had that nasty stratagem when you had 3 of them, where you could just put a big rain of mortal wounds down on people.
Oh, I remember that one. Yes.
Yes, quantum shielding. Felpire. So in my list, I've got 2 annihilation barges with quantum shielding, and loved it. So Tom, that was the wounding on a 4, 5, and 6, and the invulnerable save.
That was rather irritating to chop through, to be fair.
Yeah, absolutely.
Deny, but I was trying to do it with bikes. I'm surprised you haven't bought your little creepy crawly.
Once again, I'm not really that bothered about them, to be honest. So I'm using my Night Scythes to transport my Scorpio Destroyers across the battlefield, which work quite nicely, actually, to be honest. They kind of go in and do a bit of hacky hack. But you could also put other things. Lich Guard as well. I think Lich Guard are a bit expensive at the moment. Now Scorpio Destroyers have got the core keyword. It tends to be the one you're going to go for. Lich Guard is still quite cool, though. They've still got core, but they're just more. The points wise are a lot more expensive than
Yeah.
Scorpio Destroyers.
Those shields, man.
Yeah, but because they've got an invulnerable save,
Yeah.
kind of helps. Scorpex don't, but you can do the old whirly-derby stratagem to add 1 to the wound roll. And if you're toughness 5, it makes a big difference.
It does. It does make a huge difference. But no, I look forward to having another game against them at some point. I said, if you haven't watched our game, go check it out. It was a good quality game in my opinion.
Yeah, it was good to play against Hellbrick.
Oh yes. Well,
he's always a fan of Necrons.
Yeah. His bloody hands. His hands.
Oh, my hands! So, Tom, we've talked about this on our little WhatsApp chat. What were your feelings towards Warhammer Plus last week with the Hammer and Bolter episode?
Oh dear. Right,
the Cadia one.
Apologies for the negativity, guys. I didn't like it.
I can't remember.
I'm totally honest. Yeah. I thought it was a pretty poor episode in the grand scheme of things, actually. I don't think it represented Cadia that well, to be honest. Obviously, they were trying to... I mean, for those who haven't watched it, I don't want to spoil it too much. But, it was very much toted this whole Cadia stand thing, wasn't it, really? That was the crux of the entire little short film. And, yeah, I don't know. It just seemed like a missed opportunity, in my opinion.
I was very optimistic when I saw it coming up because the little thumbnail for it, I was like, well, this could be quite tasty, some Cadian grizzled veterans kind of holding the line.
Yeah.
And it was just a shambles, really, to be honest. It was just a bit sporadic. Like, there was no big battles as such. It was kind of like, oh, here comes some Rippers. Bow, 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 they're dead. We'll run around a bit more. Oh, here's a Tyranid warrior. Bow, bow, they're dead. Move along. It's just, oh, God, this is not good.
And yeah, the use of the spores I thought was pretty like, what the... Got caught out by one of these already. Now look.
Yeah. Yeah, they've already got us once, and yeah, it was just a bit of a shame because it was a massive missed opportunity.
I think so. I think there's better. They could have picked. I think picking something during the Black Crusade on Cadia itself would have been a bit more epic for them, and sort of showing their, where they came from, their homeworld and stuff would have been good.
Yeah, I mean, what would have been even better one? They don't have to put action in as such. They could have been just on a ship and maybe had flashbacks to Cadia.
Yeah.
Or
sitting around the table, playing a game with King King.
They didn't have to have this really limp attack.
I was there
big war
3,000 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm still going. Got my pension going.
Longest surviving guardsman in the Imperium.
Oh, sorry, Yarrick.
But yes,
Mr. Lee saying least favourite. Yep. Yeah, I must say, look, the violence and the gore is pretty good, but I just think that animation style doesn't suit that sort of thing, really.
It's almost like a animated stop motion.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of like when I was at school watching those like Shakespearean kind of animated things where it's it's not really that great.
No, to be fair, I think what the sense I've had from those particular ones, they do feel like filler content while waiting for the other things to be done, which is a shame. I think because I think they've missed out on a couple of good stories there.
Did anyone else watch it? And if so, what were your thoughts on it? Or maybe we're wrong. Maybe there was something we missed. Have you watched all the Hammer and Bolter now?
No, not all of them.
What's your favourite so far?
I like the Sisters of Battle one.
The one against the cultists?
Yeah, I think that was quite cool.
They're in like the tomb.
Yeah, because obviously they were showing that how they're holding that area, and that was the for the why their faith is tested and stuff like that. I think that was actually quite a nice symbolic one. And I still quite like the Tzeentch one from early on.
Oh, in the library.
Yeah, that was good. I think that's how I think it's those kind of stories that that style works better for, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I wasn't a big fan of the Tzeentch one, but I appreciate it for what it was. I don't know which one my favourite was. I think the Elder one is still my favourite.
I haven't watched the Eldar one yet.
Yeah, the Elder one is
Or
probably
the
my favourite
Space
one.
Wolf one. I don't think I've watched that one yet.
That one didn't really stick with me. I watched it, but I can't really remember much about
Yeah,
it.
that's bad.
Yeah.
I did rewatch the Astartes thing in one go on their film bit, and I was like, just see what they, if they'd done anything extra. No, it's just a complete rerun.
Yep.
Yeah, it's as we've discussed before, it's a shame that it's not been sort of pushed more. I think so. I'm looking forward to seeing some more higher grade animations. I think. Like I said, I enjoyed Angels of Death, but again, it was I think it was the wrong style of release for it, in my opinion. That should have been a movie.
Yeah. The Calidus one. Oh, actually, yeah, the Calidus
Oh
one.
yeah, I forgot about that one.
That was a good one as well. That was one of the early ones. I think it was
Yes.
one of the first three, maybe. Yeah, I think it was one of the first three.
Yes.
That was good. Yeah, that was definitely classic Hammer and Bolter. I think that was very enjoyable with like the Rogue Trader and not the Rogue Trader, the Inquisitors. Yeah.
Because that was quite nice because that was showing a couple of different factions and how even the Inquisitors can sort of go radical and become a problem for the Imperium.
Yeah, I think narratively, I think Inquisitors only have so long, don't they, before they do turn radical or the.
It's like if you've listened to or watched, listen to Eisenhorn or whatever, that's a good example.
Talking of which, what's going on with that series?
Don't know. It's a bit of a weird one, that, because obviously I think the problem with it was kind of commissioned before Warhammer TV came out, didn't it?
Yeah.
So the way it's being talked about, it's not actually going to be on the platform, but because you're not seeing
I'm not bothered if it's not on the platform.
No.
I mean, to be fair, like I think we said previously, I think it's probably a good idea that it's not. I think if you want to encourage people into the hobby, you need to put it on a bigger platform than just a
100%.
platform that only hobbyists have.
Well, yeah, because someone who's not interested in Warhammer isn't going to go out and buy a Warhammer TV subscription, except by word of mouth recommendation, are they? So I agree with that to an extent. You have to sort of tempt people in or do some teasers on different networks.
Yeah.
Would like to have seen a couple of maybe once it's been out for a year and they get kind of like their stats of which ones was viewed the most. You might see a couple maybe sneak onto Netflix for a little,
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah. Because if they get their popular ones, because they will find out eventually once they, they'll see the ones that have been watched the most and have the most watch time and all this business with the stats. They can sort of go, oh, this one was very well received. Let's put this one on a big streaming platform and let's see if people watch it. But again, I'm really enjoying. I'm still quite enjoying their painting tutorials. They're good. The quality of those is very good. So yeah.
Yeah, I watched one the other day. I quite liked it. It was the battle damage one.
Oh yeah.
Because I thought they held what's her face doing all of them, and I was quite like, oh okay.
Yeah, someone else, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, no, and no disrespect to her in any way, but I was like, oh, thank goodness I got someone else, because it'd be a bit boring if they had the same person who's got a very unique style doing all of them.
Exactly, that's it. It's important they do that. And this is Captain Jack. From what I heard, Eisenhorn was going on Netflix. Amazon was getting something, and I would imagine the idea was that the series to funnel people. Yes, exactly, Captain Jack. I think you're totally right, and I think it's the right thing to do. And if you were going to do any series, Eisenhorn is the perfect one in my opinion, because it's got that human connection in my opinion to the characters. It's very much like if you were to say it's a very Witcher-esque style of thing.
Yeah.
People are going, I'm going to check that out. Especially if it's good. That is the key bit, making sure it's good.
Yeah, that's what most people aim for when they're making a program. Not all the time, but sometimes.
Sometimes they say it's going to be good, and then you watch and you're like, oh dear, what have you done?
That's not good at all. I'll tell you what I watched the other day. I watched the Suicide Squad.
Oh, the new one.
Yeah,
the newer one. See.
Yeah, James Gunn's one.
Yeah.
And
that's quite good.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I highly recommend it.
I'll definitely check it out at some point, because my next one on my kind of watch list is the No Way Home one eventually, when I rent it out, because I didn't get to the cinema for it, sadly.
Mm.
Someone is messaging me.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, that was good. I've also been watching the Hobbit films again.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I'm enjoying them. To be honest, I think I've just finished Desolation of Smaug,
Schmoogie.
and that's been the hardest one so far. I mean, Battle of Five Armies is next, but Desolation was a bit.
It's the
It
film.
had some good
Yeah.
in it.
I think it was the film that shouldn't have been in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. They should have just made it a double film and had bridged that gap without all the stuff they padded the middle one out with. I think it would have been fine.
Mm.
Personally,
Yeah.
you know, some people.
Yeah, no,
yeah.
definitely. I think the thing is, I remember watching it at the cinema. I'm going a bit anticlimactic because if you not really a great deal happens because he goes, "Oh, Smog's woken up. Oh, he's flying off to Lake Town," and that's it. I was like, "Okay,
Yeah.
we're not even going to see that. We're going to have to wait for the third one for something to happen." Having that in my head, rewatching it, I was like, "Oh, actually, it's not too bad. I've enjoyed it. I've got one more to go, and then I'm going to start on the and do the Fellowship and work my way through there." But I do find myself getting drawn further and further into Battle for Middle Earth kind of strategy game.
Well, yes, that's actually you can get all that now to work as a one package off a website, if I remember correctly. So that was good.
Oh, no, sorry, I meant the models.
Oh, the
Games
models.
Workshop
Sorry,
game.
I thought you meant the
Yeah.
Battle for Middle Earth game.
Nah, done all that stuff. No, I'm talking about the actual models because I'm like they're just awesome. They're like,
maybe we can make that our next little project.
a forte into Middle Earth.
Yeah.
But honestly, I'm loving it.
You have to do Isengard though, won't you?
Isengard, yes. He's in a better beard here.
Jack is saying, "Have you not watched Book of Boba and The Witcher?" I haven't watched Book of Boba. I have watched all the Witchers 3 though. I think Dom's probably watched all the Witchers. I don't know if you've watched any of Boba Fett yet though.
I have watched. I've watched all the Witcher, and the Book of Boba. Oh man, loving it. One good episode after another good episode. It's it's really good. I'm enjoying it so far. I quite enjoyed the last episode. I don't know if everyone's up to date with it, but there's a certain actor that's appeared in it, and it's just it's good stuff. Very fun. Not a character from Star Wars, just an actor.
Just an actor. Someone you like.
Felpire, but the dwarf and elf romance was so important. You're right, Felpire, it is. I'm glad you brought that point up. It is very important.
There should be more of that in all the films for Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
They should go back and edit more dwarf elf romances in.
Well, some people don't like other races loving each other.
No.
Tom, and clearly Felpire is one of these people.
Yes.
So
I mean,
shame really, Felpire.
Yeah.
I thought you were a bit more enlightened than that,
Yeah.
but we can't all be.
Bit of an odd attitude, mate. To be honest with you, but then
Felpire, wake up and get woke. Mr. Lee saying, "Do it, Tom." Yeah, I am. The models are cool. I'm very.
I'd be tempted to do a Gondor army personally, but
Gondor's cool.
Yeah, I like the. It's just that's my favourite one out of that lot there. Yes, it has backfired, hasn't it, Mr. Felpire?
Yes, yeah, Mr. Lee, Matt Berry, and I've been watching Toast of Tinseltown as well with Matt Berry, which is on.
I'll tell you, I did watch something extremely weird on Sunday actually, and that was the Netflix thing called The House.
The House.
Yes, the stop motion animation about.
Oh yeah, I saw that. It looked a bit creepy.
It is. It's definitely not for kids. I'll just tell you that right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It was. Yeah. I mean, it's especially one of these kind of very symbolic-y things. I think where they're trying to say we never sort of think we have enough kind of thing. And it's kind of centered around those kind of messages. But to be honest, it was good. It was a good watch. It was some of it was very weird.
A bit hard going in places.
Yeah, it was just like, what the hell?
Yeah. What am I watching?
Yeah, that's pretty much.
Yeah. Am I meant to
Especially
masturbate to this?
No. especially the second episode. That was exceptionally weird. But yeah. So if you're looking for something a bit different, I'd say yeah, it's worth it just for watching something a bit different. So.
Cobra Kai. I've watched all of Cobra Kai.
Vicky's watched all that. I'd never got into it. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Cobra Kai is amazing. I was trying to explain it to my work colleagues the other day, and it's one of those things you can't explain because it just makes you sound mad. To anyone, it's like, that sounds terrible, and I'm like, technically it is terrible, but somehow it's so watchable that you just carry on watching.
See, the thing is, I watched some of it over Vicky's shoulder, and I was just like, this is awful. I cannot watch this.
No, it is.
I just
It's an absolute nonsense.
I think it was the final. It was the final episode, and it was some of the. Yeah, it's just like, oh my god, stop.
There's no town or city that has that many dojos per mile. It's just insane. I have no idea how many dojos this place has.
Oh dear.
But it's if you haven't watched
not one I'll be probably watching. I mean, I never really liked the original. The original film was all right, but it's not something I'll go back and
I think what you should do, Tom, I think people in the chat would appreciate this as well, is that I think you should give Cobra Kai a go. I think you should watch the 2 first episodes.
I did.
And if you don't...
I have watched the first 2 or 3 episodes, yes.
Oh, right. No. Lies.
Sorry. No, I have. I have.
Yeah, there you go. Captain Jack, Cobra Kai speaks to you in a teenage girl. It does. It really does. At the final fight, they're kind of like, oh, my... what do they wear? What are the things they wear? Their little roby things. Let's say roby things. There's a word for them. I can't think what it is. But it's like, oh, it's come undone. I'm going to take it off. And it's like, abs. Oh, it's so bad.
I just remember the bit about what style shall I use? That's the bit I watched over Vicky's show. I was like,
oh, there you go. Yeah,
who gives a crap?
No, there's different styles. It's very important.
No,
you wouldn't understand. You got to watch the whole series through to appreciate the different styles and why they are important.
Poor old Pat Morsher will be turning in his grave.
What else we got here? Mr. Blue, pull George Lucas, go back and ruin old films with bad CGI. I don't know if that's a little dig at the Hobbit films. Yeah, I mean, the thing about the Hobbit films compared to the Lord of the Rings, obviously, a lot more of the Lord of the Rings was a lot more practical effects, wasn't it, than Hobbit's just...
Well, I mean, I recently, because I got a new Chromecast for my TV, which is a 4K one. I recently went back and bought Lord of the Rings because it was on offer on the 4K edition.
Yep.
And I think I showed I think Mr. Lee came around a few weeks ago and actually saw it on there. But actually, it holds up really well in high res. Honestly.
Yeah.
It was quite surprising actually. I was looking at going, oh, this is still really good. I mean, I think actually what we both noticed was when the CGI ones came on, you could pick the CGI out easier because the quality was increased. That was the problem. So I think the
What do you mean the CGI bits in Lord of the Rings?
Yeah, they came out. They were more pronounced because obviously the quality's gone up. You can see where they've done things. I think the biggest one was when we watched the scene where Gandalf is, because it's the extended edition, obviously, where Gandalf and the Witch King are on top of Gondor having a little face off, and you could definitely see that his Dwemer Drake was very very CGI'd. It was pretty, but it was still good. So
yeah, no, absolutely.
I could always go back and watch Lord of the Rings because it's still a fantastic. Even though, as Vicky will know, because I wind her up all the time, I'm quite a purist with the books. Even though I know a lot of the stuff that happens in the film it has no bearing on how the books worked at all. But from a cinematic piece of cinema, it's fantastic. So, and it's a good representation of the story, which is where my feeling for The Hobbit has a slight more of a downward spiral, because I feel like they've strayed so far from the book in it that they kind of lost its essence, which it was a fun opener into a very interesting world. It was quite serious as well, but also had but it was very very quick flowing story. It was, and I think the dragging out of that middle film really didn't do it any favors for the big screen.
Yeah, I was going to say that in Fellowship, a bit that always sticks out to me about talking about CGI is the scene where they are going through the Mines of Moria
Mm.
and they're going down those big steps, and you got the Goblin archers just
Oh
shooting
yeah,
at
yeah.
them. And every time I watch that, I'm just like, oh no, some of the CGI there is very obvious. Which is a shame because, like I said, the films are absolutely beautiful. They're stunning films, but it's one of those things that once you see it, you cannot unsee it
Yeah, oh yeah,
anymore.
no, 100%. Yeah, it's hard to unsee. Yeah. Trying to think of other scenes in there which are a bit. I mean, I think the one that stands up best test of time is obviously the Rohan charge at Gondor. That yeah, considering they only used I think 600 or so horses for that scene, but they
Yeah,
generated about 6,000 odd. Yeah, that was quite impressive. Yeah, and that still stands up
absolutely.
quite well. Um,
Mm.
Tom Bombadil with his stupid hat and the books is my most hated character. No, that's fair enough. The Tom Bombadil bit I could always see being left out. I don't really see it doesn't serve the main story any purpose. The only thing it would, being a book person, the bit that it would explain is because obviously technically the hobbits end up leaving, you know, Buckland and turning up in Bree in about a space of what appears to be like a night. And I think you kind of you miss the bit where they normally get their barrow blades, which is actually quite important for the end story, but ultimately doesn't really matter. What was I saying
What
here? Sorry, Gondam.
I was going to say, what are your feelings towards the Amazon series that they're making?
I'm looking forward to it because I believe it's got the budget to work. And I actually recently re-listened to the Silmarillion, which is actually well, it's quite a hardcore listen if I'm totally honest. So, you had to be I think you had to be into the whole lore of Lord of the Rings to really appreciate it. But it's so interesting to go into that guy's mind and how he developed that from quite a his
Did you ever
language.
watch the Tolkien film?
I don't think I've watched the Tolkien film. Is this one with I think I might have meant to watch it and I didn't. I can't remember the name. What we got going on here? Well, I think about that one. I do wonder what it would have been like if Guillermo del Toro had done the Hobbit films. Could have been interesting. Quite a different take on it. And some of the smoke effects on the Balrog. Yeah, that's fair enough.
But yeah, anyway, the Tolkien it's a good film. Really goes on about obviously his upbringing and very very clever man and what he went out to achieve and
Well, he wrote an entire language.
yeah, but yeah, it'd be interesting what Amazon do anyway.
Yes, I'm fairly confident because they've got a really cool era that they're doing. So there's actually quite a lot that goes on before the Third Age. It's quite an interesting little bit of history, and I'm looking forward to seeing where they go with it. I'm fairly confident with it because ultimately it's got a good budget. It's not going to be half-assed, I don't think.
No, no, it'd be a terrible decision if they mucked it up. Do. These cherubs are not particularly fun to paint. I'm not.
No, I gave up with my ones to be fair. Little bomb carriers.
Yeah, absolutely. That was it, Nicholas Holt. Yep.
But yeah, that's yeah, film wise, yeah, I think I'm trying to think if I've watched anything new. I did watch the new James Bond as well with Vicky. Quite enjoyed that. Wasn't too bad. Wasn't the best. Wasn't the worst.
That's a good endorsement.
Well, yeah, it's just yeah.
Maybe they should just be more honest when they come out with films, and just say, "Look, it's not going to be the best,
Yeah.
but it definitely won't be the worst."
The thing is, there's a lot of films that I really like as an easy watch, and that's a very different thing to having a great film because there's a lot of great films out there which I don't really want to rewatch because they lose their kind of, I suppose, mystery after it. It's kind of like, oh, I think a lot of uh, some of the earlier films from, oh buddy, what's his damn name? My brain is not working to it. He did Snatch and
Oh, Richie.
Guy Ritchie. Yeah, some of his ones which are really good, but because you kind of lose that mystery of how the story all comes together,
Yeah.
you can like, it's fun to watch, but it's not something I'm going to go back and repeat watch all the time because you lose that bit of mystery about the cast and stuff. And then there's things like the original Matrix, which the story's pretty, yeah, whatever, but it's a great watch,
Yeah, I think a sign of a good film is if you're willing to watch it more than
Yeah.
once. Like I said, watch Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Probably going to try and rewatch it because I really enjoyed it. I was like, oh, it's really good. But then, like, let's go back to like some Marvel films, and I'm like, I'm all right. I've watched it once.
I will watch the Avenger films. That's about it.
Yeah.
The in between
some of the bigger ones.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of ones that I still like the original. I think the original Iron Man's still good.
I think Captain America: Civil War.
Yeah,
I
that's
very
not
much
bad
enjoyed
as well.
that.
Yeah.
Watched that a couple of times. But ones like Black Panther or Doctor Strange, I just watched it once and I was like, with Doctor Strange, it's like, oh, why are you trying to be so confusing? You've lost me here.
Oh, poor old Dom. He gets it
I'm just
overwhelmed.
like, I can't be bothered with this. It's similar to when I watch Doctor Who now. I'm like, I don't.
I lost Doctor Who about 2 or 3 years back. I think. It was just literally, it was post Matt Smith era. I think that's where I completely dropped off from it really. That's one of the issues I have with that is because I've watched Peter Capaldi in like the thick of it so much.
Peter Capaldi's in the Suicide Squad.
Oh, is he? Oh, there you are.
It's quite good, isn't it? But yeah, the Doctor Who, like the one at Christmas or New Year's they did with the Daleks in a storage depot was quite good. But the rest of it, like I was just like, I have no idea what's going on.
It's just gone.
You're just making it up.
Yeah, and there's always a MacGuffin. Always a MacGuffin, no matter what.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like, I don't care anymore.
Superhero movies, I'll definitely go back and watch those. I like the Christian Bale Batmans.
Yeah.
Obviously, The Dark Knight is my clear favourite out of that lot, and I think a lot of people probably agree with that. Because there's something about that film that was just very good. It's sad, probably sad the fact that it's Heath Ledger that probably made that film. To be fair.
What about the Tim Burton ones?
Yeah.
Not a big fan of Tim Burton ones.
All right. We've got here Mr. Carrie K. I think he might be trying to swing the conversation back to Necrons.
Oh, Necrons. Let's talk about Necrons. Saturday, fingers crossed. Yes, fingers crossed for some good Necron stuff coming out. I'm kind of feeling. So talking about Necrons, we'll go back to 40k for a bit. The heavy destroyers will probably go up in points. Maybe even the Scorpix go up. I'm really hoping things like Immortals will come down a little bit. I think so the core keyword unlocking that major. However, maybe the points do need to be adjusted slightly to take that into consideration.
Maybe increased it.
Yeah, just increase them slightly.
No,
a lot. Yeah, double all the core keyword army. Yeah, so no, I'm really hoping there's some good.
Yeah, because it's the pre-order for the chapter preview this weekend, isn't it? Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Another thing I've got to buy. Sorry, didn't mean to sound so negative about that, guys, but it's for me. It's becoming a bit of a pain. I'm swimming in books.
Yeah. What should do Middle Earth, Tom?
Okay.
They hardly get any updates.
Yeah, they don't get any.
Yeah, it's perfect for me. I love it. What else we got going here? Anyone looking forward to the new Batman? Yes, Philpire. I think it's going to be cool. I'm looking forward to it. To be fair, Batman normally is pretty safe. Do not need point increases. Necrons, I don't know. Look, I'm just being that person. I think, I as a word bearer player, we're always on the back foot. And I'm a very half-empty kind of person. So like, a few points increases, not the end of the world, is it? But I'm optimistic that Immortals really wanted to get dropped because I love playing them. They're brilliant.
The core keyword didn't make too much difference. I'm afraid it did, Carrie, in my opinion. It really did.
Well, also, I think it's worth trying to keep in mind as well that if I just hope the points adjusted for whatever faction are all kind of in the big picture make sense, because you don't want a particular faction hardly having any points drops, like for instance, Chikari maybe, and then other factions getting hammered.
Well, to be fair, you mustn't forget that there's a few factions have already had some points drops done recently. Which I think was Mad Mech and Drakari, oddly enough.
Exactly.
In the last little mini 6-monthly update. So I guess we'll see. I think actually what's going to be more interesting, in my opinion, is how they've restructured the missions for match play.
Yes.
Because there's been a lot of chat about what they're doing with that. It sounds like secondaries have kind of been a bit more set by the sounds of it, which will be interesting.
Oh, and also, it's a thing worth as well that in the White Dwarf coming up, that there are secondary objectives for armies that do not have codexes yet. So I'll have to pick that White Dwarf up because there are about 4 armies that I have that do not have codexes yet. I'm not bitter. I'm just saying there's 4 armies that I have that do not have codexes yet, and I'd quite like to have some secondary objectives.
No, I've written to Games Workshop and I've sold the armies you said, and they've said, look, they have said they're going to release at least one of them, because they feel that you've been lagging behind, but they're going to try and hold the rest off for the rest of the year. So
could I have at least a say in which one?
It's definitely not going to be Chaos.
Oh, okay. What about demons?
No.
I mean, you're sabotaging yourself there.
That's okay. I can live with it.
Yeah. I haven't played him yet anyway. It doesn't matter. Just like seeing him pissed off. I can't remember where we were in this chat. Why are they so apart?
I think that was talking about the Christian Bale Batman films. I'm afraid, Peter, I'll have to agree to disagree. I think they were very good films.
Yeah, they're good. They're good. I think like I like the Tim Burton ones as well. Like the Tim Burton ones, and then it got to a point where I was like, oh god, what's happened here? They killed it off, and then they came back. And then
there was a period there where you're like, what? Why are you doing this? Just stop.
It's a bit like Bond films, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
As well. Oh, stealth car. That's great.
Yeah, the end of the Pierce Brosnan era is probably the worst period for Bond ever, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And he wasn't even that bad a Bond. He just had some very bad material.
Yeah.
GoldenEye, though.
GoldenEye. 35 points for Scorpio Destroyers. It's good. It is cool keyword.
We're jumping all over the place now.
A bit overcast. Yeah, I'm just reading the.
Yeah, that's all right. No.
Stuff.
And Lee wants to go 3 ways on Plenner Fields.
Does he? He's going for the easy option though. Army of the Dead. Oh yeah.
No, in fact, actually, Miss Lee, you are not allowed to buy anything because your Nurgle needs to be done.
Yeah.
Sorry, mate.
Sorry, this is an intervention. Cancel all his cards. Remove his PayPal.
I won't send him any more gifts of vouchers for Goblin.
No more care packages.
No, that's it. We're done now. It's all going to stop until you finish your current set of models, including your orcs and your and your flyings, little mini flyers as well.
Right. So time and the Marines Army of Renown. No codex for you. Yeah, exactly, Mr. Blue. I mean, jeez. I thought it just gets me so angry, Mr. Blue, talking about Space Marines.
Oh God, Jesus, Mr. Blue, don't do this. He's been doing so well for the last few streams. You haven't sucked the poison out.
Right. That Army of Renown came out. I was like, of course it's Marines. Why would it not be Marines? It just,
I would laugh so much if the next big reveal was like had a little marine outline on it, which
It'll be like
looked a bit
Howling
chaosy.
Griffins.
Yeah, and it'll be like here, it's time for the Legion of the Damned.
Yeah, yeah.
A full range.
Yeah. We know you've been asking for it. Who's been asking for Legion of the Damned?
Oh me, I've been writing thousands of letters over the last few years. They just think there's a market out there.
Yeah. Must change IP, send another one. Oh, God, yeah. They just wind me up, Space Marines. Because they got that new Ancient coming out, haven't they? Is that a store anniversary model?
I think there was
or
one,
just
yeah.
one they fancied releasing?
Well, they're out of
Or is it-
lieutenants, so you know.
Well, yeah, you started with now with captains or whatever it is. And not ancients. It'll be apothecaries next.
Yeah, that I hope so. We need some more of them. Haven't got many good
tell you
variations
what.
of that model.
Yeah, need a few more. Different Primaris armor. Apothecary and Phobos armor. Apothecary armor. Come on!
We've got to get Gravis as well. Don't
Yeah.
forget that. All right, come on. I'm afraid, guys. Yeah, I think I think I'm right. We need more marine models, less chaos models. Oh, I just hope when they release the Chaos Codex, they just put the 3 lines on the front, 1, 2, 3 for edition 3 of the.
Yeah. Same codex cover that they've had previously. Just put 3 on it, and they've just put 1 extra wound in a different font in everything.
Yeah.
That's it. That'll do.
Why has it still got initiative in it?
Yeah. 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 Or armor facings on the
Armor
tank.
facings, initiative.
Yeah,
It's like, and then a little star saying, "Just make up your own rules. It's fine.
Yeah, do what you want.
Do what you want with
Whatever, go for gold. Yeah, I think. Oh God, I can't even think straight anymore. So angry.
Yeah, do you know what, Catjack? I agree. I mean, a Gravas Apothecary would be great. Do you know what you could do? You see, Jack, if that comes out, you could drive down, get that £20 note that Dom's left up there, and buy it with that as well. That would be, I think that would be a good.
Still there, Jack.
Yeah.
I was going to say that Chaos and Elder box. Initially, it was coming out, and I was like, "Wow, that looks really good. I'm going to get a couple of them." And now I'm looking at it, I'm like,
You've already got enough of what's in there, haven't you?
"Nah, just like I've got enough chosen squads that I've made myself."
And you got Mauler Fiends.
I got Mauler Fiend. So I was like, well, I could get it and use it as a Forge Fiend. And I was like, yeah, you got the Warp Smith, but are they going to release it by itself? I mean, they probably won't. They'd just be dicks about it.
No, they're going to put a Space Marine Lieutenant in it instead.
Yeah, yeah. And I think I'll just get one. I'll get 1 box because the Elder models are way better than the Chaos ones in that set. Like those
Even
scouts,
their funny heads,
the bikers, even their funny heads. They are way better than the Chaos ones. Well, first thing I checked, it's always going to be there. Don't you worry about that.
I think you should put a £20 up there every week until he comes to collect it.
This is a blue screen, by the way. What was I going to say? Oh, so that ancient, that ancient that comes with is it a power sword or chain sword? Have you seen that model?
I might not have done. I'll have a look though.
It's a new ancient model. Is that part of a box set, or is that a store anniversary model, or what? But it's a new ancient model out, isn't there? Anyone in chat know which one I'm talking about? If so, how's it being released?
Just having a look for the. If I can find it, here we are.
Hello, welcome.
Oh dear, careful. Oh no, so of course it's the Inquisitor, wasn't it? That's the one I'm thinking of.
Oh yeah, they released the Inquisitor. No, there was a Space Marine Ancient model as well, wasn't there?
Can't seem to find it.
Anniversary minis. Oh, okay, cool. Inquisitor. So maybe I'll pop it in.
Maybe you've gone mad, Dom. I
Nah,
thought there was a captain.
There is a captain, but
Yeah.
there's also an ancient model.
What's this here? Is this the one? No.
sure there's one somewhere.
I mean, I've seen they've got that.
Oh, there you go. Primaris Ancient.
It is
Got
an
a
ancient.
power
Okay,
sword, I think.
fair enough.
Yeah.
We don't need any of them either.
No, that's what I mean, though. That's what I mean.
We don't need it, but if it's preventing the release of the Chaos Codex, I mean,
Yeah. Delay.
you got to look
delay.
at positives. You got to look at positives.
Oh, there we go. Hang on. World Tour. Yeah, it came out on the 27th of December. It's the Christmas present that we all wanted.
Yeah, because I bought 3 of them. No, I've bought none.
Yeah. It's got a special banner. Was it a special banner? It might be a standard banner. Add one to leadership characteristics models in the unit. In addition, each time model in such a unit is destroyed. But yeah, okay, so it's standard stuff. But yeah, good. Glad. And it's got a power sword, so it will be a different data sheet. Good. That's great. Just what we wanted.
Mate, you know I want the Chaos Codex as well. I want to run my Night Lords.
No, you've got to get every Space Marine before we deserve a Chaos Codex.
Oh, it's waiting on me then. I've got to get 3 of everything.
Yes.
And then they go, oh, they
makes
follow
me so sad.
they follow our stream so exclusively. They'll be like, oh, Tom's bought all 3 of every single one. We can now start releasing some more Space Marine models.
Let's say next year sign up. Yeah, so next year. Well, this year it's coming up. Doesn't say how it's coming out though. Yeah, so brilliant.
But don't worry, you'll get your Chaos Codex is not that far off now.
No, hopefully next year we'll see it coming in.
It'll be out before April, before our APOC game.
Well, that's what I'm hoping, Tom. Oh yeah, the new Primaris captain there. Yeah, great. Yeah, so there you go. New Space Marines.
Thank God.
From
I was running out of
Chaos
stuff to do.
will be getting a Dex, and so will World Eaters. Yeah, I think World Eaters deserve a new Codex or a Codex, which would be quite nice. I was chatting to Dave Holland about this the other day, and I think really, to be honest, jokes aside, the Chaos Legions do need to have a supplement.
Of course they do.
And it's kind of, they don't need all these extra models. It's a supplement, maybe a character model. That's all they need. Because I was thinking Imperial Fists have got a supplement, haven't they?
They do indeed, yes. Well,
why?
It's not been updated since 8th, I don't think, but they have one. Yeah, but you could argue that about the Black Templars. I mean, do they really need a supplement?
Well, Black Templars are a bit of a different.
They are different, but then I don't think ultimately, they aren't. I suppose. I mean, I know they're active. I don't think the Codex, the supplement, is that different, really.
Well, the thing is, so Imperial Fists. Let's look at Imperial Fists, Ultramarines, and Space Marines. What's the difference?
Not an awful lot.
There's no but Black Templars have got this whole thing about being zealous knights.
Oh yeah. Honestly, I think they're
people with swords.
Yeah, but I suppose equally, my point was that you could have sandwiched it into a bigger standard codex. You could have done. There's not an awful lot of rules in there, but it's mainly for the Crusade relics and the vows and stuff that are in there. That's the bit they need the supplement for, and I do agree with that. I think that was really good. I really enjoy using the new book as well.
Yeah,
but ultimately, you could argue that point for most of the Space Marine legions, I think, apart from very off-shot chapters, like Blood Angels, Space Wolves, and things like that, because they're, because obviously the other thing you got to bear in mind about the Black Templars is they are technically Imperial Fist from a core point of view, as are Crimson Fists as well.
I'm not going about Crimson Fists because it makes sense that Crimson Fists are with Imperial Fists because fundamentally, once again, they've got some named characters, but they work exactly the same for both armies. Yeah. Black Templars don't work the same. They've got unique squads. Same with Blood Angels, Dark Angels, Space Wolves, Raven Guard. I've got a different way of warfare, and they could in future have a new codex.
Well, they already have one. I think any Space Marine Legion, Space Marine chapter that had a supplement will get it repeated. I think there will be one for each, regardless of whatever. Because
and it's just weird because you think that Games Workshop, as a company, as we're seeing now, love printing books. It's like one of their favourite things to do, and you'd have thought.
Yeah, but
Maybe
they want to
actually,
print books that everyone has to buy. Not everyone
yeah,
has to
it's true.
buy the
Not
Chaos
everyone
book.
has to buy it. But
Yeah.
then again, if you have to have the Chaos Space Marine book and you have to have your Legion book, you've got an extra book there you're selling that you don't have to sell before, instead of less than a paragraph worth of special rules. You can re-roll your
Oh,
leadership test.
you've read the preview of the Word
Oh,
Bearers
how
Codex then?
lovely! Yeah. Oh, what's our warlord trait? Plus 3 inches to our
I mean,
aura ability.
I've seen the Word Bearers one. It's the new one that is. Basically, what you got the Chaos Codex. They folded back the back page and just used a prick stick to put the sheet on the back. That's how you. That's it. And they've done that for each. Yeah.
Well, that's good. That's good. That's what I want to see. Actually, they've read my requests.
if I'm totally honest, I
just
would have actually loved them to all be in binders anyway. I think it's very annoying that you can't have them in a flip book, because actually the way they've done the data sheets would have been perfect. Because you could
yeah,
have
absolutely.
you could have created your own custom book for a match you were playing and moved it in there. It's a nice. I mean, obviously there's probably a lot of money involved in doing that, so I can understand possibly why it's not been done. But at the same time, they are doing hardback books. Yeah, they've gone from doing a softback to a hardback. You know.
But I just think in general, the books when it comes to like Legion supplements or regiment supplements, just come on and do them. It's just frustrating. I can kind of see other factions why they haven't got them yet. For instance, Tau and Necrons, why you haven't got them yet, because there's no point at this part in the game. But Chaos Space Marines and Guard as well. Guard could even start having something.
Guard's a surprising one for me because they you look at the expanse they could go into Guard armies. In my opinion, it's almost like you don't want to do a standard Ashram and Card and Codex. You just literally start doing supplements for Guard and how each regiment works differently. Yeah. And that would be cool.
Or even orcs. Like you're looking at some of these old armies now, and they just don't have anything. And it's just like orcs would be brilliant for this kind of stuff. Orcs have always, not always, but they've had points in the past where they've had things like Death Skulls have had unique units and abilities. Why not just give them a supplement?
I mean, here is just to give you an idea. This is essentially how they've done so you've got your detachment abilities, and then essentially for each one they have a little for each clan. Oh, sorry, a little section. That's it. So there's not a huge amount gone into. So and now basically you have now Goths, Bad Moons, Evil Suns, Snake Bites, Death Skulls, Blood Axes, Freebooters, and I think that's it. And then they've done, and then basically what they've done then is specialist mobs, which are the things where you can pick a certain thing for a mob, and they get that ability. So there's a bit of customization there, but nowhere near as much as could be done with it. Yes, I agree.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and Titan Light's just one of the oldest armies. They could have something. Captain Jack, I'm going to take that £20 down.
And he's going to put 40 up.
Yeah, I like your balls, kid.
But you have to remember that Dom's very upset about the whole Chaos thing. Okay,
That's why I moved off from Chaos. I'm doing other armies now. It's just the battle.
He does his Chaos Titan.
Yeah. Gonna green stuff all these Chaos things off.
Gonna make it an Imperial Knight.
Yeah. Doing Imperium now. Get all the rules.
Yeah, it's time to do your Flesh Tearers again. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Flesh Tearers are cool.
Well, I'm unfortunately, mate. I think I'm gonna have to cut this stream a bit short. I did want to carry on, but I'm actually feeling quite tired, unfortunately.
Oh, bless you.
So
okay.
But I do apologise, everyone. I would normally go to about 9:30, but you can probably tell by my eyes I'm struggling a bit.
Yeah.
Sleepy Tom.
Sleepy Tom.
But as usual, unless there's anything else you'd like to add before we finish up, Dom.
No, Tom. No, you go have a little nap. I'm gonna go record some bits, and everyone else is gonna go do some hobby.
No, thank you all very much for watching as usual. We look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks' time. Don't forget we're doing every 2 weeks now. However, it does mean that me and Dom are going to be recording another game next week. So look out for that. And this has been Tom, and this has been And we make Black Toe Studios, and we look forward to seeing you all very soon. So take care, everyone, and bye-bye.
Bye.